Alright, Tomboy Official, welcome back to the pod. Today, I'm up here, Friday Eve, Thursday, July 27, 2022. Recording from the gym parking lot. I'm about to get rolling here. It's 10:02 a.m. I went and did a morning workout. That is not necessarily something that is always easy for me to do. And I'm realizing that I'm putting my schedule on here. So I had breakfast at about 8:20 a.m. or so when I actually was eating. And then I had some C4 at about 7:40 a.m., about 100 milligrams worth, which I feel gave me a little bit, just enough energy, a little bit just to kind of get me up and going. But it was early too, strategically. But yeah, I'm going to talk about some queer thoughts along the way. Just entering kind of the basics of what I did. 15 minutes cycling between so between the speeds of 7 and 13. And then I did some tricep, some machine, 5 sets of I don't know how many. And then mostly bicep, different types of curls and calf exercises, maybe 5 sets. So total upper was like 25 minutes or 20 minutes. So I did 15 minutes and 20 minutes, and then I'm good and I'm ready to roll. So yeah, guys, ate a pretty healthy breakfast. I'm gonna start tracking what I eat. I started yesterday, but I mean, it wasn't healthy yesterday. But today, I kind of had a bit of strategy with my food. Just a bit, guys. Not, I'm not by any means doing anything fully perfectly. I ate 3 eggs with the whites and the yolks. I think they were large size, but nowadays large size eggs are kind of like a medium-ish. They're not really like large all the time. We get various types of brands of eggs. There's a lot of stuff that I notice I kind of prefer compared to what my parents prefer. So like for myself, with orange juices, I like the cold press kind of organic types. They kind of like the cheap gallon jug ones. For eggs, I like the organic type of eggs where my yolks are going to be almost orange. They kind of like these other types where the yolks are like yellow. I'm a little, I don't know, with my vegetables, I like my stuff from like Sprouts, farmer's market style grocery. For like, I put stuff in my eggs sometimes like onions or spinach or tomato. And yeah, I just had a bump of motivation today. Had a couple days of just, getting behind because, I had some cramps and freaking, it kind of messes with my anemia levels and things like that. Like when I've got this cycle situation going on. So Monday, Tuesday, I dealt with that. Wednesday, last night, I did some good stretching for like 40 or so minutes, 45, 44 minutes, something around there. And I realized, that was just kind of how I was rolling yesterday. So, shoot. So, yeah, after I realized all that yesterday, I kind of, was able to kind of, get, because I was like, I want to work out, but it was hot all day. And I was like, I don't want to go anywhere to work out, Today I've got like this weird scattered schedule because I need to make some money today. So I've got to do some deliveries, but I've got a gig to view an apartment at 4:30. And then I've got this therapist that I've got to meet with at like, the appointment's at noon, but they said get there at 11:30. And then that means I got to leave my house at like, by the time I get home, it's going to be about an hour before I need to kind of get going out of the house. So I think I'll have lunch actually after this appointment, but I'm going to drop by and get some more protein shakes, I think. Because I have half of a protein shake at home remaining, but I'm like, I'm probably not going to eat lunch till 1:30, so let me have a real size protein shake on time. Because I did eat breakfast almost a couple hours ago, so my mornings aren't gonna normally be like this, though. I already know that. I'm not gonna like wake up, go to the gym, and do all that like early in the morning first thing. But I'm like, I need to at least, I'm paying for this gym. I want to at least go once a week, at the very least once a week. Twice would be good. 3 times would be ideal, because that's almost like every other day, just about. And then, just because it's so hot in the house. It was my decision this morning, I was like, I'm going to work out at home. I'm not going to spend a little bit of gas and a little bit of time it takes to get a little more ready and like leave the house. And when I thought about it, I was like, I'll get a much better workout in if I just go to the gym, because it's not like fully air conditioned, but they have fans and it's not as hot as my house. And so I'm like, and it's a little change of scenery. I mean, my workouts there feel better. I usually get a better pump. So I was like, let me just go to the freaking gym. So I went to the freaking gym, guys. So yeah, the bits of queer experiences or near queer experiences. I've always got people just looking. That's just how it goes. I'm kind of thinking about it, as far as, what's going to go on with my situation here. I always kind of think about it when I'm meeting someone new in a professional environment. And so, people see my name, very feminine name. But, when I'm the one who stands up and they call my name and I go walk over towards them, I kind of sometimes notice like, oh, they weren't expecting me to maybe look like this. And I'm not going to fem it up for anybody. I'm not doing that anymore. But it is something that crosses my mind. And it's like, I'm in an area that is not diverse, guys. The area where I live in LA, it's diverse in its own ways. But I wouldn't, it's not like West Hollywood, It's not like Venice Beach. It's not like certain areas where you're like, okay, like there's a little bit more flavor, in the air. It's pretty stiff in this area. Not to say that, therapists aren't from all kinds of places, all kinds of backgrounds. I don't know what to expect. I didn't ask anything about background. I tried to ask information. I tried to look up general information based on the name. The person who was checking me in said doctor, but also that might be a mistake. It might not be a doctor. They've only got 3 reviews at a 2-star level on Yelp, and I couldn't even read the direct reviews, I don't think. And then, so already I'm skeptical, guys. But this is what my insurance pays for. There's no copay and it's completely free. So I'm like, and it's like with no traffic, it's like 6 minutes driving from my house. So in LA, it's like, bro, I'll take it. Like, let's just see what happens. As long as they're not a jerk and they're kind of like aware that I have some goals I want to work on, let me just, because I already noticed I feel a little more motivated because I'm like, I have to talk to somebody and tell them what I did today. So I don't want it to sound like, oh yeah, I slept all day till my noon appointment. It's like, no, I woke up and I went to the gym. And just the fact that I have to probably check in and tell somebody what I did today, maybe that's a big factor of what got me up and going. But it's not to say that I never go to the gym or that I never work out or anything. I'm just I'm not super rigid and consistent right now. I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, I'm gonna drop by here, get my protein shake on, and then I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of time to sit and do some podcasting anywhere, but I'm gonna just pop into this CVS real quick. CVS isn't the cheapest place, but it's the quickest place, and they probably might not have the flavors that I like, but it'll get us staying on track for today. All I'm trying to do today is stay on track, guys. Stay on track. Make the money I need, get places on time. That's all I'm trying to do. I'll be right back. Guys, so I'm sitting in the parking lot for a second. I got one of my faves, creamy chocolate soy lint. It's got 20 grams of protein, but it's basically like a meal supplement. I don't use them to replace meals, but they're good on days like today. Like, I know I'm going to be pretty busy till like noon, or after, probably till like 1. I'll actually be busy if things are on time. But yeah. So I'm gonna drink that. I'm gonna actually go park a little in the shade and go drink it while I talk to you guys. Gonna move the car over. So I don't have that long till I need to leave and get ready for my appointment, but I'm not rushing either. I'm not in a rush. So yeah, I calculated if I leave my house by 11:10, 11:15, that gives me enough time to, well, probably 11:10 would give me enough time to kind of get a little turned around and a little, you know how it is, like sometimes you drive somewhere and then you like miss your turn and you gotta like turn around and stuff and like find where you're going and like park and walk into a building and look for the room and check in and that kind of stuff. I feel like that'll give me enough time if I leave at like 11:10ish. So I'm still running a little early. I'm right down the road from my house. Like, I'm within a 30-minute walk from my house. It's less than that probably. So I'm just gonna hang here for a second. But yeah, because I know there's like shade in this little area. I'm just gonna kind of chill here. Drink my beverage, pod to y'all, and then get going. I gotta get home and shower and actually like look like I got dressed. I haven't really gotten dressed today yet. And I showered yesterday, but you know, I also got that yoga stretching exercise last night, so I did that around 7 something. So I don't know. You guys can decide what you think. I don't know if you guys listen to A Space for Us podcast for people who are masculine presenting. It's a good pod to listen to, just ideas floating around that I find, you know, are easy to resonate with. Ideas that I don't hear people talking about, like panel style discussion too often. Like they're not like complete new ideas that nobody discusses. Like if you are a more masculine presenting person, you probably would vibe with a lot of what they say. And especially if you're a queer person of color that's masculine presenting, or not even, like if you're just kind of like interested in learning and kind of seeing different types of people's perspectives, even if you don't look like or identify like or feel like one of those, a person of that kind of particular way of being, you know, of that kind of nature, if that doesn't really represent you directly, you still might like it. Just, I can't really say who's gonna like what, but I like that. I find it very representative in a lot of ways. Some ways no, some ways yes. One thing that I like when I hear, black people talking, is, the representation of the different, I am going to need AC, guys. The representation of the different types of people, with different kinds of backgrounds, Some ideas that aren't often spoken about are ideas such as two-parent households, or people who went to private schools, or people who maybe weren't raised in an inner city neighborhood, and those kind of dynamics. Like, you don't really hear that a lot when it comes to content with minorities in general. So sometimes I like it when there's like a panel where there's people that maybe are representative, but also representative in those types of ways too. Like, a wide spread of people with different religious backgrounds, different parent backgrounds, raised in the city versus raised in, some like rural areas, versus, raised with, people who valued education or had financial stability, versus people who maybe, weren't, like maybe people who had to only rely on government assistance, or maybe some people had family with disabilities in their households, not able to work, who were living off of different government aid for those reasons, because they couldn't work. And like, just those different dynamics that you don't often hear, the perspectives of everybody from every angle. So I kind of like that podcast for that reason, because it is a little representative like that. Like, they kind of have more angles versus mostly what I hear, they don't tend to have as many angles. And so that's one thing. And another thing is, just generally, how people get along, and, therapy and things like that, like relationships, dating. Like, a lot of us have an angle that we come from where it's like, there are so many things, like a lot of us who were raised maybe in church, and then like black and raised in black church, and like, there's just all types of things that are just, you just don't see a lot of representation of that. So that podcast, I think, gives an angle that touches on things that a lot of other content kind of just doesn't touch on. But also, I kind of, sorry, I'm drinking this fast, so I'm trying to get out of here. Okay, I think that's good. I drank about 3/4 of this, and then I'll add the half of the other protein shake to it. And so I'll make another protein shake out of this one. So alright, guys, I'm gonna get rolling. But yeah, I like this pod for that reason. But yeah, at the gym, I walked in and, well, not when I walked in, but when I walked into the bathroom before I was leaving, I saw a quite studly looking person in there. And I was like, of course, I look over, I smile, I'm like getting my stuff out of the locker, so I can leave. And then I saw them walk over next to this other person that it looked like they were talking to each other. So they walked over next to this other lady, and I was like, I think that's the couple. There's like a Polynesian couple that I see on occasion. I'm assuming they're queer. I don't know, but it's my assumption. They they take their walks. Sometimes I drive by where they are when they're taking their walks, and they're like holding hands. And so I would assume they live in my little area, because now if I'm seeing them at the gym, it's like about 10-12 minutes away, and then I'm seeing them, I think I saw them a couple times, like walking down the street holding hands, like on the street right down beside my house. I'm like, and at the beach. I think they live kind of over near me, so I'm kind of trying to, I'm not going to try to like talk to them or anything, but it's like, this is now more than just once that I've seen them. It's probably the third or fourth time I've seen them since June. Maybe all in this month of July. I can't really keep track because July's almost over now, but since June, from what I can kind of remember. But yeah, I'm pretty, it's just refreshing, when you see people that kind of, even if you don't have anything racially in common, I don't even know, they might not even be queer. Maybe they're sisters. Maybe they're a mother and a daughter. I don't know. Maybe like an aunt and a niece. Like, I don't know. But, there aren't that many people that look like me in many ways in my area of the city. And if they do, even slightly, they're usually Asian or white. There really just aren't that many other types of people of color in this area. Mostly Asian. It's getting a little more diverse otherwise, but not fully. Like, mostly the people work in like stores and restaurants, and because there's a big like shopping and restaurant industry in this area, so mostly that's when I'll see the diversity around me, is when I'm like shopping or at a store or something. There's definitely queer people working at a lot of different places around, and I think I can spot them easily. Like, they try to be visible sometimes. Like, it's not like everyone's out there like hiding like they used to be. Like, I feel like it is a lot more visible these days. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. Like, I didn't really have any bad experiences today yet, but it's still like barely, like, it's 10:32 a.m. So I gotta get in the house, get in the shower, get rolling, make sure I got all my cards and stuff on me, and then I'll head out of the house in about 40-ish minutes. That's plenty of time, I think, to kind of prepare. I mean, this worked out for me so far today. I mean, instead of sitting around the house, worrying about what's it gonna be like today, like, am I gonna have a bad experience, am I gonna have a good experience, how am I gonna feel? I was like, let me just do some actions and just stay out of my head. So I've kind of been a bit out of my head today, so that's been nice. And I think to some extent sitting around at home is not the most ideal thing. It helps me to get out of the house, even though sometimes I don't really want to, because leaving the house means spending money, spending energy, and when it's hot, we all know it is not that fun to be spending energy and things. So alright, I'm gonna get in the house, and that's about it for now. Once I post this, I'll post it up. If I have anything to say about this therapy experience, let's see if they even touch on any of the queer stuff. If it's even part of the paperwork, the initial paperwork, we'll see. Alright. Thanks for listening.